In this video, we'll cover Meraki policy objects and how to use them for your organization's firewall rules. The existing firewall rules are using IP addresses and subnets to reference source and destination, as is tradition with any firewall. There is a different and simpler way to make these rules, however, and that's with using network policy objects. Network policy objects are labels that you can use to represent IP addresses, subnet ranges, and even fully qualified domain names. Policy objects make it easier to understand what firewall rules are doing and help to keep your rules nice and tidy. Note that you do need to be an organization-wide administrator to create and modify these objects. To set up policy objects, navigate to Organization, Policy Objects. Here you'll find all the objects created for the organization. If you've never added anything before, this list is going to be empty. To add a new object, select the Add New button above the list. A window will appear for the configuration of the policy object. I need to set up a lot of rules for our servers, so I'm going to add a policy object to make setting up those rules even faster. Enter a name that will correspond with the object and give a good description of what it's going to represent. Then select the category of the object, whether it's going to be for network use or if it's going to tie into adaptive policy. For this demo, we will be selecting Network. Next, enter the fully qualified domain name, IP address, or CIDR details that the policy object is going to represent. I'm going to add a subnet here for the on-prem servers. Once that's configured, I'll select Create Object. Now the newly created object is in the list of organization policy objects. To modify existing objects, select the Edit icon towards the right of the policy object. As the number of policy objects can grow fairly quickly, you can group objects together as policy groups. This allows you to further condense the items for your firewall rules to make them easier to interpret. Select Add New to begin creating a new object group. Input a name to describe the group, and then in the Contains field, add in the names of the policy objects you've created. I'm adding in the object that I just made for our servers. Once you have all the objects you want to be a part of the group, select Create Group. Now the newly created group of policy objects will show in the list here. These objects and groups will make configuring and reading firewall rules much easier. Let's try it out. I'm going to navigate to our firewall rules here and modify a rule with a policy object. For the rule restricting traffic to our servers, I'm going to change out the subnet in the source field with the policy object that I just created. With the rule modified using the policy object, I'll save the configuration and the rule will be updated. From the firewall's perspective, nothing has really changed. However, this rule and any others using the policy object will be guided by what the object represents. A huge benefit of this is we can change the object once and automatically update any rules that use it at the same time. This greatly helps to streamline any firewall rule maintenance. And with that, now you can go ahead and start using policy objects for your Meraki firewall rules on the Meraki dashboard.